Seriously, I want to know how people do it. I mean, how do we live this modern life and get all the crap done we need to get done in a day? I just today was one of those just absolute. It was Randsanity because the thing was, I went from one thing to another and it never stopped, and it just went, and I mean, crazy. I had to go to Costco today because I went to go get garbage bags. I needed clear garbage bags. And when I went to Costco, I wound up getting everything under the sun, like all sorts of stuff. Oh, I get this. Oh, I get this. Oh, I get this. I never got what I actually needed. That trip took me like, I don't even know how long. It took so long, like more than an hour. And I didn't get that much stuff. But it was just between going there, driving there, and then I had to go to another store. And it just took forever. And then I had to drive across town and go to another store. And it took, I mean, just so much. And then I was talking to somebody and they just kept talking to me. And I just was, please stop. I had to go pee. I'm like, I really, really need to go to the bathroom. I'm like, shut up. And then I had to go to Menards, and that took forever because that store is so damn big, and no one was helpful. I needed to get a threshold, the thing that, you go from one door to another, little thing. And I was like, where are they at? Oh, I just started working here. Okay, could you ask someone that might know? And then this guy's like, oh, I think it's over here. We walk, and it's like all the way on the wrong side of the store. And then he looks at his phone, and he's like, oh, it's actually in aisle 118. We're in aisle like 904. And I'm like, seriously, bro? I was like, I could have just done this myself and wandered around aimlessly. You're the one with the little blue vest on that has your name. Like, what is happening? And then I had lunch, and that took forever, and it was just so slow because it was just packed. I don't know how people do that. I guess I forgot. I have not spent a day doing things other than work, just like trying to get stuff. Usually I just go to Lowe's to get my crap and I leave. It's easy. Lowe's is close. I go in. I know what I want. I know where it is. I pick it up. I go. Peek. But it just, wow, too much shit. Just too much stuff. Now, I do have something to look forward to tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to take my phone with me clearly, and I'm going to use my phone, but I'm going to meet Stephen Webster. He's like the punk rock jewelry guy from London. He's here in town, and I guess I get to go to a football game with him tomorrow. I got invited to go to the Buckeye football game, and I'm going to hang out with Stephen Webster. So I was like, okay. I mean, I knew his name, and I knew who he was, but I mean, I read how, his first big break was making the wedding rings for Madonna and Guy Ritchie, and he's got like, 200 stores and all this stuff, and he's like a rock dude, like a punk rock guy. So I'm actually really excited to meet him, but I'm going to see if I can interview him while I meet him. Why not, right? That'd be my first Randsanity collective interview just for this series. I mean, it's lots of interviews for the radio station, but I have not done one yet that's exclusively for this. So maybe we'll have Stephen Webster be my first interview. It won't be here clearly. I don't think he's going to come to my house at 11 o'clock tomorrow night, but you never know. He seems like he's a gamer. But that's neither here nor there. So, yeah. Oh, wait, did I forget to bring it? Oh, no, wait, hold on. Let me grab it. It's over here. Sorry, back. I thought I forgot it. I had to grab something that I had to pick up today. So, you'll see what it is momentarily. Oops, this is falling again. Sorry, just falling to pieces today. And I still didn't get my hair cut. So now it's like, getting beyond long and unmanageable. So I'm making sure I shower right before I come to this because otherwise my hair's now getting like really long. Anyway, it was a really busy, crazy, beautiful Friday. Hope everyone had a wonderful day. I had good coffee at my house this morning because I stopped and I busted out the new little Keurig pods I had that were unopened so they weren't stale as they normally are, sitting in a jar for weeks and weeks at a time. So that started the day off right. Good coffee. That's the way to do it. Start your day with good coffee. And then I had lunch, and I don't normally eat lunch. I normally don't eat until nighttime. That's my normal meal time. So I had lunch today. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I did want a nap, though. I won't lie. I did feel like a nap was in my future, and I did kind of sit down and kind of like, oh, hey, that was 20 minutes. Well, I was waiting. For somebody. I sold one of my guitars today. One of the guitars got sold by someone who I know really, really wanted one of the autographs on it. So I called and said, hey, do you want to buy the guitar? One of the ones that didn't sell. So another guitar went out the door. And of course, I spent the money. I spent the money literally at Costco. Like every cent of it was gone and then some. So it really kind of was like, all right, well, that was, effort, progress, gone, all of it. Just history. All right. So episode 167 of Randsanity. I did not go to the building. I did. Crap. I did go to the building this morning. Right. I had to. See, it's just blurring now. It's so blurring. There's just so much stuff. I can't even at this moment. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't. So at some point, you're going to have to come help me. We're going to have to just go and sort this crap out and be like, keep it, throw it, keep it, sell it. I'm going to just have to have set up a bunch of tables and just lay everything out and be like, come buy it. Just come buy the stuff. Just make offers and just take it away. At some point, just you have it, since it's going to get, I don't know what to do. Sorry, I really don't. Sisyphus. I'm pushing the rock, man. I'm pushing the rock. Anyway, the 14th of November, episode 167, rock history and all sorts of things related to music and rock and all that stuff. So we'll dive right into it. It's not too much tonight, a few pages. Yeah, I got a few pages tonight. I spent a little bit of time, did my normal thing. So 1960, Ray Charles' song, Georgia on My Mind, becomes #1 single for the singer. It also became the national song for Georgia, the state of. Good old Ray Charles, you have a song for the state. 1981, Raise, I think it's Raise, maybe Rise, Raise. The 11th album from Earth, Wind & Fire is released and the Billboard's Album of the Year for 1982. I did not listen to that tonight. Again, I fell down the musical rabbit hole. Sometimes that happens. I popped on a little Oasis and away it went. And then I just had my playlist that I built, had the Oasis and the Stone Roses and a bunch of English punk, and just, it was definitely a very just song mood today and tonight. 1991, Michael Jackson's Black or White music video with groundbreaking morphing effects, which today would be nothing. You can do that on your home computer. You could do it while I'm talking. You could be like, did it, morphed it, AI took care of it for me. But in 1991, that actually shit was big. Big deal. Someone spent a lot of money with a lot of computing power to do something that we now take for granted, and kids are making money going, morphed. Anyway, this thing simultaneously premiered in 27 countries, including MTV, Fox TV, and the British show Top of the Pop. So that's kind of a big deal. Now, I also found something that happened with Michael Jackson today that I was like, really? So Michael Jackson got married today. Today's the day Michael Jackson got married to Debbie Rowe in 1996 in Sydney, Australia. Now, Michael met her in the mid-'80s. She was the assistant to a dermatologist on his vitiligo. Sort of happened in the 1980s. So she was like the assistant dermatologist, okay? Met her in the 80s. Now, this is sort of the makes you think kind of a thing, okay? Their marriage didn't last but 3 years, less than 3 years, okay? Less than 3 years. They divorced in 1999 in October, so not even 3 years to the day, with Rowe giving Michael Jackson full custody of the children. Like, uncontested, here you go. I'm walking away. Basically, here's the kids. She got $8 million. So it seems more like a business transaction to me personally. I look at that as follow the money. I looked at it as a business transaction, that she was the surrogate for his children in a non-surrogate for his children way. Oh, we're married. It's my wife. Yeah, have babies. Get out. Here's a lot of money. Never come back. Never bother the children because they're not yours. They're mine. Just saying. That's what it feels like to me. I could be completely mistaken, but I don't know. That just is one of those ones where I'm feeling like, yeah, that was a business transaction, plain and simple. Make babies with me. I'll pay you lots of money and then walk away. 2000, Geddy Lee, singer from Rush, has his release of his first solo album, My Favorite Headache. I did not listen to Geddy Lee's solo album tonight. I was intrigued for a second and said, no, I'm not going to do it. I just didn't have time to, and I really didn't have the desire to. I like Geddy Lee and Rush, but that's neither here nor there. And I've told the story of, I've seen Rush a few times, but I've told the story of my Rush story, the Rush story of my miscreant youth growing up in New Jersey. Not making it to a Rush concert when we were all arrested by the police prior to said concert. And in the police station, you know, I'll truncate the story because I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it again once in its full length when I get to remember what date it was and everything. But yes, we were all arrested. Me and my entire group of friends were arrested by the police and hauled down to the police station where our families had to come get us. And my dad, I've explained to you who my dad is. My dad was the blue-collar guy from Worcester, Massachusetts in the Navy, an officer, self-made, went to NYU, grad school, captain of a football team, just this little bulldog of a guy, adopted, so did not look anything like my short bulldog, stocky guy dad. But in the police station, when they were going through all the paraphernalia and the things that they found on the persons, nothing on myself, of course, I was innocent. They pulled out a bong, a water pipe, and they explained it. And my dad grabbed it in his hand, and he basically grabbed it and went like this, and went gurgle, 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 and looked over at me. And all my friends were like, "Oh, dude, your dad's the worst." I was like, "Yeah." So driving home, I asked my dad, it's like, "So does that mean I don't get to go to the concert?" I did. Scout's honor. He just looked at me like, jackass. Didn't say a word. Didn't say a word. Just looked at me, gave me the look, just shot his shot with the look like, seriously? You think, like, no, that's not happening. Anyway, Rush. Did not listen to it tonight. 2024, Elton John and Jake Shear's musical Tammy Faye, based on the life of Tammy Faye Baker, opens at the Palace Theater in New York City. It runs for 29 performances. I'm thinking he lost money on that one. I don't know where the break-even part for doing a play in New York City is, but I'm thinking 29 performances probably isn't it. And who gives a Tammy Faye Baker musical? Just come on. I just remember Tammy Faye Baker, like the eyes and the just all of it, the whole thing. Sorry, televangelist, just my ire. 1922, jumping from 2024 all the way back to 1922, the BBC begins daily radio broadcasts from the two-low transmitter in the Marconi house. I was going to say theater, Marconi house. And Marconi being, the guy who invented radio. So that's nice that they had a place called that. 2006, James Bond, played by Daniel Craig for the first time, releases the 21st adventure of James Bond, 007 in Casino Royale. It premieres in London on this day in 2006, 11/14. 1967, Pink Floyd was added to a 16-date UK tour with Jimi Hendrix. There was a bunch of other bands, didn't know who they were, didn't care. It kicked off at the Royal Albert Hall in London. The Hendrix Experience, they were allowed exactly a 40-minute set. That's it. 40-minute set for them, and Pink Floyd had half that, 20 minutes. That was their entire set length, 20 minutes. So I don't know, 20-minute set from Pink Floyd versus a 40-minute set from Hendrix. I would take both, but still, that's kind of short. It's a 1-hour show, and then there was all the other bands, I guess, but yikes. All right. Barely get time to get on the stage and get set up and you sing a song or two unless you're the Ramones and banging out the hits. Hell, that's what? You got a 5-minute song, so you get 4 songs in there? You're out. It's like a mini set. I don't know. Anyway, 1969, Sugar, Sugar. Sugar, honey, by the Archies, was number 1 on the UK single chart. The single became the longest running one-hit wonder in the UK. It ran for 8 weeks in the top spot. It was also the first performance of a number 1 hit by cartoon characters. Again, because they weren't real. It wasn't a real band. Sort of like the Monkees. These were cartoons that were singing this. They weren't actually even like real people. So the people that were singing it, it wasn't even like, cartoons of the actual performers. So the Archies, made up boy band. So I don't know. We've never done that before, have we? We'll get to the New Kids on the Block in a minute. 1975, Queen, the band Queen, played the first of 78-day tour at the Empire Theatre in Liverpool, England, as part of the Night of the Opera World Tour. I just put that in there because I like Queen. 1981, The Police had their 4th UK number 1 single with Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic. It only reached 3rd in the U.S., number 3 in the U.S. I guess, they were an English band, so maybe they like better in England than here. Not sure what's going on with that one. 1987, George Michael went to number 1 on the UK chart with his debut solo album, Faith. That was actually a really good album. I did listen to that tonight because that kind of fell into the whole British sort of category tonight, so I kind of leaned into it a little bit. The album won Grammy of the Year in 1981, sold over 20 million copies worldwide, and between 87 and 89 had 6 top 5 songs, 4 of which of them hit number 1. Faith, Father, Figure One More Time, and Monkey. George became the only British male performer to have 4 number 1 singles from 1 LP on the Billboard chart ever. So that's pretty good. 6 songs out of probably a possible 12 or 13 made it into the top 5 hits. Good job, George Michael, for Faith. Now, mini, keep that word in mind, okay? In 1991, 1,000 fans were treated with or needed medical treatment for a mini riot. 1,000 people needing medical treatment? You consider a mini riot? If it's a 20,000 person concert, I mean, that's a pretty good percentage of the audience, right? I mean, 1 in 20 people needed medical treatment? Jesus. It was during a concert in Berlin, Germany at the New Kids on the Block concert. The New Kids on the Block was kind of a made-up band, but they sold 80 million albums worldwide. 80 million. I mean, that's not too shabby. It also means that we as humans have no fucking taste, which is terrible. We listen to the worst crap. New Kids on the Block. Shut it. Ugh. 1992, Bon Jovi went to number 1 on the UK album chart with Keep the Faith, as opposed to George Michael's Faith. His fifth studio album. It was the second UK number 1. The album produced 6 top 20 singles. Keep the Faith, like George Michael's Faith. Bed of Roses, In These Arms, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, which that's will wind up happening to me, I Believe, and Dry Country. He did not get anything special for having 6 top songs because they didn't have 4 number 1s. They were just top 20s. So it could have been 19s and whatever. 2004, U2 went on to be number 1 on the UK singles chart with Vertigo, the 5th UK number 1. The song was taken from the album How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. I did find, it's not here, I have the U2 poster from the Ohio State University Stadium show. I found it all wrinkled up and crinkled in a corner in my office when I was sorting through crap. I think I found something else, a bunch of stuff that was stolen today that really depresses me. So I'm going to have to see if I am correct in that assumption. If it is, I'm going to be very, very unhappy to notice that these are now all gone. Some of my personal crap from my office. Anyway, 2004, the Rolling Stones were denied permission to go to court to sue their old record label, Decca, for royalties that they believed that they were owed. A top magistrate in London said that the band would have to go through arbitration and may not go to the courts to block the court's time with this frivolous lawsuit. All of this stemmed from their 2002 40 Licks compilation CD, which was the first time an album spanned their entire career. I didn't really look any further than that because I was like, whatever, man, I don't really care that much. I mean, I just don't. Sometimes you do, but it's like the Rolling Stones, whatever. 2006, a little bit slow on this one. 2006, Led Zeppelin was inducted into UK Music Hall of Fame. 2006. I looked it up. We, United States, we did it in 1995. All right, so come on, man. You're like way behind. 20 years behind. Anyway, Roger Taylor of Queen was the presenter, and Jimmy Page accepted the award personally in front of an audience of about 3,000 fans. This was actually only the 3rd induction ceremony at the famed Alexandra Palace in London. So, all right, they were a little behind. Their rock roll started a little bit later than ours. Obviously, rock and roll is more of an America thing than it is a UK thing. They had the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, but they didn't exactly invent it. We did. USA, USA. Speaking of USA and inventing rock and roll, 2015, a pair of white boots worn by Elvis Presley, size 11. Now we know Elvis's shoe size. From his famous 1968 comeback TV special, were bought by a UK collector for $45,000. Again, I don't get that. I just don't. I don't have that collector gene. I have the hoarder gene. I have the I must have stuff gene. But it doesn't really have any true value, apparently. And 2022, Joe Walsh brought his Vet's Aid to Columbus, Ohio. With Joe Walsh of the James Gang, special guest Dave Grohl, and an all-Ohio lineup. The Breeders, the Black Keys, 9 Inch Nails at the Nationwide Arena. Now, I was there, and I got to see all sorts of good stuff that day. So, let's see what we got, because I have pictures even. There's other pictures I actually should have downloaded them, but I didn't because I was like, I'm lazy. So, that's me, by the way. Remember the guy in the van? So there was this one here. There was Joe Walsh. I got to sit right outside with good old Joe Walsh. And right next to him, that would be his wife. His wife is Marjorie Bach. Now, that's his fifth wife. Now, Bach's sister is Barbara Bach. Barbara Bach was in the James Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me, in the 1977 film. Also, she's married to Ringo Starr. So, Joe Walsh and Ringo Starr are brother-in-laws. Bet you didn't know that one, right? Or you might have. It's one of those things. I don't think Ringo was in attendance at the show. But anyway, then, well, that's also the mayor talking with Walsh there. Now, that's the mayor giving Joe Walsh the Joe Walsh street sign right there. Well, then, you know, you've got that whole thing going on. That's me with the street sign. And here it is. So that is the actual street sign from that Joe Walsh Vets Aid concert that you saw in that picture. Look, it's like deja vu. Yes, when I was cleaning up today, I found it. I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. Apparently it didn't get stolen or even damaged. It's actually in good shape. I'm highly surprised. The show is great. Now, my review of the show will be as follows. The Breeders just killed it. They sounded so good. It was really, really enjoyed the Breeders show. I've got a really cool skateboard deck from the Breeders. It was a limited edition thing we got from the band. Very cool. It lurks somewhere in the building. It did survive the theft and everything else in the sale, so I do have it, so I might get that up for sale at some point. Hi there, Todd. I went to the show also, almost 4 hours. Right? It was almost 4 hours. It was a great show. But it was definitely there was a bit of an older crowd because there was the James Gang. Breeders were great. It was such a good show. Really, really enjoyed the Breeders. Now, the Black Keys, I love the Black Keys. Don't get me wrong, okay? But I felt like they dialed it in. They were just sort of like there and they did their thing. You know, it wasn't bad. They just did their thing, and I just felt like they dialed it in a little bit. You know, nothing super great, nothing bad. It was just kind of there. 9 Inch Nails. Holy crap. They just kind of like jumped into it, and before you know it, it was like bang, they were playing, and man, all the old people were like covering their ears because it was just like a wall of sound coming from it. It really was. You know, it was really hard to sorry, I got to touch the camera. Because I did see it, because Todd reminded me that I had to pay attention, so I did. But I mean, literally, they were covering their ears like, oh my God, what is this? Because it was so loud. But it was so good. 9 Inch Nails just crushed it. Absolutely just destroyed it. It was really, really good. And then, of course, Joe Walsh came out, and he did James Gang stuff. Dave Grohl jumped out there, and Grohl played some. He played some. They played side by side. I've got a bunch of pictures of that because I got nice and close. It was beautiful. But it was a really, really, really good. Now, the funny thing that I liked at one point when Joe Walsh said that, Herr Martin, hello, Randy, Randsanity. Herr Martin, Maten, Herr Maten. How Wiedersehen. Wie geht's, meine Freunde? Anyway, the funny part was that Joe Walsh said about his signature song, Life's Been Good, if I had known this was to be the song that I was going to die playing, I would have written a better song. I was like, I love that so much. Because every band has that. You know, I've talked about it before. You go to a show and the band's like, hey, do you want to hear some new music? And everyone's like, no, not really. We came to hear all the old stuff. That's why we paid all the money. We don't care about your new crap. Because, you know, it's normally not going to be what you know. You want that familiar. You want to tap those toes. You want to step those fingers. You want to sing along to it. That's why radio stations, as we did, would play the songs incessantly over and over again because you had to sort of get used to it. When you heard it the first time, a lot of times, you know, you were like, eh. I remember the first time I heard Hosier taken to church. I'm like, I don't know about this song. was like, really? I was like, okay. But then it grew on you. But the first time I heard it, I was like, really? Take her to church? I'm like, what is this? Right? I know. I mean, you may not like it. You may love it. You may have loved it the first time. But anyway, it's an acquired taste. But I just think that's so funny that he said those words. If I'd known this was going to be sort of my legacy song, I would have written a better song. Who doesn't love that? I mean, I do. Anyway, it was a great show. And that happened on this day. Well, yesterday. So this would be the day after. So it was last night. So on 2022. There you go. Local music history connected to that. And again, look at that right there. The Joe Walsh Way sign right here next to me, making all that noise. Who knew? All right, birthdays today. McLean Stevenson. He was Colonel Henry Blake in MASH. He died in 96. Phil Barron, who is the voice of Piglet. He's from Cleveland, Ohio. Who knew that? Who knew that Piglet was from Cleveland, Ohio? I did not. I know that now. I wonder where Eeyore's from. I was going to look that up. Patrick Warburton, Putty from Seinfeld, Officer Joe Swanson from Family Guy. I like a lot. I always just like, he just wanted that dry humor. He was in B movie, the Seinfeld, the BEE movie. He was the jock tennis player. For some reason, I just like the character that he always plays. It's just, I don't know. It's sort of the clueless, I don't even know what sort of buffoon in a way. But it's just, I don't know. I think I like all the roles that I've seen him in. Dana Snyder, voice guy for Master Shake on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Also Granny Kyler on Squidbillies. If you've never seen Squidbillies, they're dirt squids. I highly recommend go finding on Adult Swim just to watch it so you can be like, really? What is this? Early Kyler? It's hilarious. And it's funny, their theme song, the beginning of their show, the theme song is the same in every show, but a different artist sings it every single time. So sometimes it's done in a country twang, and then it's done in a punk rock setting, and then it'll be done in a heavy metal, and it'll be done in a slow. It's I think very creative that they did that they have the same, it's the same song, just different artists singing the whole thing. I actually suggested that for a client once, to do their theme song to be done by different artists. And they totally bought into it. I was very happy. Made money doing it because I thought the Squidbillies idea was good. So, yeah, that was my, Mad Men ad days. Joseph Run Simon of Run DMC, birthday today. Nina Gordon from Veruca Salt. Veruca Salt, very underrated. They're a really good band. I did listen to them just a little bit tonight, but then I ran out of time. I will put them back into my playlist because I like Veruca Salt a lot. Brendan Benson of the Raconteurs, also a really good band. Duggan Payne of Travis. Who knew? And then Travis Barker of Blink 18250 today. Good old Mr. Travis Barker. As far as deaths, there weren't any. Nobody died. It was just one of those good days. Death took a holiday, so nobody died today. So everybody's good. The world is at peace. I don't know. We'll see. So sorry. You know what? I'm going to take a drink of liquid because my voice gets parched when I sit here and yap for 30 minutes. My favorite, again, these lemon perfects. They're good stuff, man. No sugar either, since, I'm trying to keep my boyish figure as we get older. Our metabolism slows. I refuse to have metabolism slow, damn it. I'm willing it not to. I will not allow my metabolism to slow down. I will continue my ADHD run through life in a precarious way, perilously head first into the saw blade. Yeah, that's what I said right there. I'm going to write a long rant that I can just kind of read off and rant through about the perils of life in an ADHD world. So anyway, up and early tomorrow. It's a Saturday. There is a Ohio State home football game tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. So I do not know what my status is going to be when I get back here. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to try and pre-record most of the show just in case I have to get back here and hit play and let it happen. But I'll sort of be in the background going like, look, I'm really live. This is just a pre-recorded early because of time constraints. Because I definitely won't have 2 hours to prep for the show. So I'll do that during the day, pre-record it, and then have it ready to go. But yes, so I'm hoping that I can, well, I know I'm going to meet Stephen Webster and hang out with him, but I'm hoping I can spend some good time with him. And maybe he'll let me do an interview. I mean, obviously I'm going to ask him and not be like kind of surreptitiously and like, so Stephen, tell me what's been going on with you in the punk rock world. I'm holding the phone down here recording our conversation. So maybe I'll have that for Sunday night because I would definitely not have it for tomorrow night because I would have no time to edit it. And my whole, view on editing that it has to be a masterpiece in my magnum opus. So I'm sure I won't get it done in time anyway. No. It just doesn't happen that way. Oh, O-H. I-O. Is that what we're looking for? The I-O part? O-H? Or just that? Is that O? O is in like an exclamation or I-O? Do I have to type I-O? I-O. Now what? How do I do that? Okay, wait. Hold on. I got to go down here with my mouse. I'll put I-O. There you go. O-H-I-O. Right. Oh, does it have to be capital? I-O. There it is. All right. I feel accomplished, like I did something correct, which I probably didn't, but that's all right. Okay, so episode 167 is in the books. Tomorrow will be episode 168. It will be a Saturday. I don't know what condition I'll be in after a long day, but we'll see. And like I said, I may pre-record it. That'll be my first pre-recorded show, but I still will be here. It's not like it's going to be all like not live. I'll see what I can get done so it happens in a timely fashion. Because I think it's schedule this even. Wouldn't that be funny if I just schedule it and I just pop in when I get back and it's like, 11:20, be like, I'm here, I made it back. I don't know. We'll see. But that's it. That's my day. That's your day. Have a great rest of your Friday night. Hopefully you did something exciting besides just work today. Hopefully you have something exciting planned for tomorrow, and we can do exciting things together. That would be my goal, to do exciting things together. I forgot to get that lineup for you, but I do have the show. I now know the name of it because I just forgot to put the actual thing up. I did pop it up and I did look for it. So the show that I'm talking about, it's in Madrid and it's this summer. It's actually called Mad Cool. It happens in Madrid, Spain, July 8th through the 11th. Okay, so go ahead and Google Mad Cool and go look at that lineup. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it is just, clearly it's going to be like, 100,000 people show. Because when you see the lineup, you'll understand why. This is not a 20,000 person show. This is one of those European style festivals. It's going to be like a Lollapalooza where it's just going to be thronging masses of people from Madrid. So, but yes, that's actually my goal, is to go to that show now. I want to make that my Randsanity goal for the summer. So I'm going to play the lottery and I'm work really hard to start getting this thing done and sponsored and get my viewership up to the hundreds. I-O could be shit. That's true. But those O-H. Back-to-back national champs incoming. You never know. Who knows? That would be a wonderful thing, wouldn't it? I don't know if Ohio State's ever done that. I don't think they've done a back-to-back national championship. Don't know. We shall find out, shan't we? All right, so I'm going to go. So, yeah, Google that. Google that festival and check that thing out because, man, I'm telling you what, mad cool in Madrid this summer. Whew. So I'm going to do whatever I can to make that work by hook or by crook. Fade to black. Have a wonderful night. Appreciate you, friends. Thank you as always. Mad cool. Mad cool. Don't forget to hit like, hit like, hit like, hit like, hit like. Ending stream.